Frieza is definitely one of the most iconic, if not the most iconic villain in the entire Dragon Ball franchise. In this video, I'm going to give you 5 reasons why he is considered the best villain from the whole series. Reason number 1: he is the embodiment of pure evil. Frieza is one of the most wicked and cruel villains you'll ever come across in Dragon Ball. Unlike other bad guys who might have some good in them or reasons for being bad, Frieza is just straight up evil. He destroys entire planets and races without a second thought, like when he blew up the Saiyan homeworld and almost wiped them all out, and he did the same thing to the Namekians too. He is the complete opposite of the heroic Goku in every way. This contrast between the two makes Frieza stand out as a really important villain, but perhaps his biggest claim to fame is that he's the one who made Goku transform into a Super Saiyan for the first time. Reason number 2: his menacing wit and charisma. Frieza isn't just strong, he's also one of the most charismatic and well-written villains in Dragon Ball. Sure, his immense power and iconic look are a big part of what makes him so memorable, but it's his personality and the way he carries himself that really seals the deal. On the surface, he acts like he's the king of the universe, looking down on everyone else like they're bugs. He has this really twisted view where he sees all other races and planets as worthless and disposable. He gets off on making cruel jokes and insults to scare his enemies, and he never tries to hide his love for violence and brutality, but at the same time, Frieza also has this formal, refined way of speaking that makes him seem almost regal. He's got a real composed, confident demeanor that's a total contrast to his messed up personality. His dark humor and sadistic tendencies are just the icing on the cake. He's the kind of villain you love to hate because he's so deliciously evil. Reason number 3: his prodigious untrained power. One of the things that makes Frieza such a standout villain in Dragon Ball is just how ridiculously powerful he is, especially compared to the main heroes. While guys like Goku have spent their whole lives training and honing their martial arts skills, Frieza is basically a natural-born prodigy who barely has to put in any work to be an absolute monster. The first hints we get of his insane strength come from his underlings, who make it sound like he's on a whole other level, but nothing could have prepared us for just how outmatched the Z fighters would be when Frieza finally shows up in his full power. Even Goku, one of the strongest characters in the series, struggles to gain any kind of advantage over Frieza at first. In fact, it takes Goku unlocking the legendary Super Saiyan transformation to finally be able to fight Frieza on even terms. Up until that point, Frieza's raw power was so overwhelming that none of the heroes stood a chance. He embodied the greatest threat they had ever faced, all without really having to try that hard. Reason number 4: his iconic transforming design. Frieza's transforming design is another big reason why he stands out as one of the most memorable villains in Dragon Ball. The way his look changes and evolves as he gets more serious in battle is just so cool and impactful. It all starts with his base form, which makes him look like this little imp or gremlin. Then as the fight goes on, he transforms into this huge hulking second form that's like a complete 180 from where he started, and just when you think he can't get any crazier, he transforms again into this freaky third form that looks like a xenomorph from Alien, but the real showstopper is his final form, the one that most people think of when they picture Frieza. It's become one of the most recognizable images in all of Dragon Ball. What's cool is that Frieza's transforming gimmick set a template that Toriyama would go on to use with other villains like Cell and Buu, but Frieza did it first, and he did it best. The way his look escalates and gets more intense as the battle rages on is just so satisfying to watch unfold. Reason number 5: his fearsome reputation precedes him. One of the things that really makes Frieza stand out as a top-tier Dragon Ball villain is the way his reputation and build-up are handled. Unlike some other antagonists who just show up and start causing trouble, Toriyama takes his time establishing Frieza as a true force to be reckoned with. First, we get hints about his role in the genocide of the Saiyan race, which immediately paints him as an absolute monster. Then, we see how powerful his underlings and right-hand men are, like the Ginyu Force. Watching Goku and the others struggle against these lesser minions just builds up the sense of dread and anticipation for when Frieza himself finally shows up. By the time Frieza arrives on the scene, He's already been built up as this unstoppable, terrifying presence, and when he starts casually dominating the heroes, it really drives home just how outmatched they are. Frieza's reputation as the biggest, baddest villain they've ever faced precedes him, making his eventual showdown with Goku and the others all the more epic and satisfying. Toriyama was really smart in how he handled Frieza's introduction and build-up. He didn't just throw the villain at us right away. He took the time to establish Frieza's legend and make him seem like an almost unbeatable threat. That slow burn approach is a big part of what makes him such an iconic and memorable antagonist in the Dragon Ball franchise.